Is recording in progress?
Recording in progress.
Thank you. Good evening, Dayton. Welcome to the Town of Dayton Planning Board regular session and public hearing this Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. Call this meeting to order, 7 p.m. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And just as a reminder, this is a public meeting being video and audio recorded for cable broadcast. I want to confirm the next meeting will be on Wednesday, April 16th, 2025, also at 7 p.m. And on to the first item of business, which is a continuation of a public hearing for TNA Realty Trust, 0 William Street, map 21, lot 20, special permit and definitive subdivision application. Do we have to make a motion to continue, or is it just automatically continue?
Motion to open.
Can we make a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make that. I'll second.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right, thank you. Sir, all right.
Good, how are you? Thank you. For the record, my name's Bob Rigo. I'm with Riverhawk Environmental, the civil engineer for the project.
Okay,
So this particular subdivision has been before the board one time previously, and it was sent out for peer review by Weston and Sampson. So I'm not sure how much you want me to represent from the original presentation, but it's essentially a 17-lot subdivision on 80 acres. We are looking to do the subdivision under the conservation subdivision process. So we submitted a demonstration plan which showed that we could achieve 17 lots under conventional subdivision, and presenting this plan of the conservation subdivision with 17 lots. We are still providing relatively large lots with a decent amount of frontage, so that the size of the homes could be built to kind of today's standards to fairly large homes.
okay.
During the initial presentation, there was some question about the calculation of the lots that you need to, for the yield plan that we prepared. We based it on having water present at the site. There is a water main that's runs in William Street in front of the site. It currently serves the adjacent subdivision at Hunter's Hill. So there's an 8-inch main which does run in William Street in the roadway. The town of Dayton currently has a moratorium on effect on the water. So originally when we started preparation of these plans, way in the upfront, we held a meeting, kind of a departmental meeting, and one of the people present was the chief zoning enforcement officers. And based on his opinion and on how to interpret it, he said that I should, because the water line was there, that I should be allowed to use that, the smaller lot size in basically calculation of the yield plan and how many lots we could get in conventional subdivision. So that was one of the questions. I believe the reviewer agreed with that somewhat, but I'm not quite sure. It wasn't specifically stated, but they didn't comment that it was done inappropriately. So that was one of the major questions. The next question, most of the other comments that came about by the reviewers' comments were addressed through basically explanation of why we needed the waivers that we were requesting. There were really no substantial changes that we made to the plans in response to the reviewer comments. It was a lengthy letter, but they were mostly all addressed through an impact report, minor changes to the plan, no major revisions. The lots are shown as we originally presented, and we did do, bolster our waiver request, so there was a little longer explanation of why we were requesting each waiver. So I don't know if you would like me to go through each of the waivers we are requesting and indicate why we have requested those.
I have them here, so I think we're going to, this is the one that was, this looks like it's more extensive than we got originally.
Yeah, it's bolstered a little bit, so it has been expanded.
Okay.
We also, we had requested a waiver from the impact statement, but a lot of the comments within the reviewer's comment letter related to things that would be contained within that impact statement. So we eliminated the request for that waiver and just did prepare a full impact statement in accordance with the.
And I did review the impact statement, I really appreciated the level of detail that was provided in there,
Okay,
so that
thank you.
is,
Thank you.
I'm 1 of 5, but in my opinion, that's exactly what we're looking for.
Okay, great, thank you.
So you did address that in my opinion, and we'll open it up to the board here shortly. But I think before we continue, I'm required to read a statement into record, because I wasn't present at the original public hearing. It's a letter here, review of public hearing evidence affidavit. I, Jeff Cavallo, having missed a single session of the public hearing held on January 15th, 2025, before Planning Board on the petition of TNA Realty Trust in Almeda Ridge, case number 09-24, the conservation subdivision located at 0 William Street. I hereby certify that I've examined all evidence and at the missed session on the same date, January 15th, 2025, and reviewed the video online and any transcriptions. So I signed that today. Just want to call it into record. I reviewed the impact statement, reviewed the waiver request. I don't have any questions specific to this, but I do want to hit on the water situation because you brought that up. I did have some correspondence with the building commissioner just today, and he said, and I quote, he wasn't able to be here tonight, but he did provide his opinion, and he said the current dimensional requirements in our bylaws indicate that the reduced frontage with the availability of water or sewer, our bylaw is silent. Okay, hang on. The current dimensional requirements in our bylaws indicate a reduced frontage with the availability, of water or sewer, meaning that if you did have water or sewer, you could go back to the 175, 35,000. And he said our bylaw is silent on the actual connection to those utilities. So, and the moratorium by either utility will not solidify that water or sewer will be unavailable in the future. Usually means a restriction is temporary. So, how long has this moratorium been in place? It's been 3 years?
I actually
it's
have
about
the
4 or
date somewhere in
5
my
4 or
report.
5, I thought it was four.
2022, I think it might have
So
been.
it's been
Yeah.
4 years since somebody here from the water department.
Not anymore, it used to be.
Used to be, yeah, it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
So, I guess, just to say it out loud and on record here, would really like the water department to take a hard look of what's the right thing here. I realize there was a time when the moratorium was necessary, and I know it's been continuing through the years, but this is obviously causing an issue with development of the town of Dayton. And I know it's an important thing to be concerned with water availability, but I think we need to take a harder look on how we can find better solutions to that. I don't know what those are, but I know that, as you can see right here with this particular developer and the one coming right after, whoops, and all the developments coming through town are gonna be handcuffed in what they can accomplish unnecessarily if we think there's a better solution. But I don't have the answer. I just would really love to see us to get away from just a moratorium that's been around for 4 years. And I would, I don't know if it's up in June, right? Is the
I think that's when they usually vote on them.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Sorry to put you on the spot there, sir. But I'm hoping that the answer in June isn't another year of moratorium, because we come into these situations where somebody's trying to put something in the town of Dayton, and then we have to impose requirements on them that we wouldn't normally have to impose. So the problem with Jim's interpretation of this is, it's his professional opinion, as he stated here. We don't have the ability to get around the requirements for the yield plan. Yield plan, as stated, because the lots don't have water, they are required to have 250 feet of frontage.
Well, are you ascertaining that from the statements you just read into record? Because I have a different interpretation of those statements.
I didn't read anything in the record.
Oh,
Maybe
you
Frank
read
might
something
have.
that the
I
building
read,
inspector.
that was an email from Jim Aguirre.
Yeah,
As we corresponded today, and he provided his professional opinion, and I just read you
so
his
is,
opinion.
but he said it was silent. The water is available. It's just connections aren't possible.
There's an availability of, it says here that so it says, he interprets this table, Appendix D,
So he,
as,
his,
he says this table is, the dimensions on the left are for availability of water. Doesn't say that anywhere.
doesn't,
I mean, the presumption here is if a lot is without water, meaning water being available or connected, I mean, it just because the water is present and not connected,
so,
the extension isn't that suddenly availability implies that the frontage requirement is 175 feet. I don't see that here, and there's no vehicle here that allows us to, loosely define what this means, or to look at a conservation subdivision and then say, well, that's okay, because the yield plan is only as a guide, and moving forward, we're talking about a conservation subdivision. We have to have a yield plan that shows the
yeah,
basic requirements on the left side of this table. I'm sorry, on the right side of the table, because you have no water connection, not automatically assume just because there's water in the area of the property but not connected, that suddenly it's okay and 175 feet is adequate.
all right. I don't necessarily get that's from the sentence of the email that you read, that that's his interpretation that,
It is not his interpretation.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
his opinion is that he says the bylaw is silent on the actual connection.
Yeah,
And he terms the presence of water
yeah.
in the vicinity of the property is adequate for this.
Is it,
And that's where we're in a situation where, unfortunately, because of the moratorium, we're stuck.
I-
And we have to impose the 250 feet.
well, but you're saying his interpretation is different than the board's then?
Yes, it is.
Oh, but isn't he the chief zoning enforcement officer in town?
He's the chief zoning enforcement officer for enforcement when there are violations, not
No,
for.
he's the chief zoning enforcement officer, period. He makes zoning decisions. If you appeal his decision, it goes to the ZBA. It's not the planning board's job to interpret zoning.
I'm not interpreting anything, I'm reading the table.
My interpretation and the chief zoning enforcement officers appear to be different than yours.
I disagree.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right, okay. That's fine. I mean, I can squeeze out a yield plan that shows 17 lots. It'll include a wetland crossing and things that are possible. So I'll modify my yield plan to show
And
17
that's, I
lots.
wanted to make sure we talked about that right away, because that's
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
big
yeah.
deal.
No, that's fine.
I don't
Because
want,
it's
I
a
don't
big
want to string
thing.
you along. It's a big deal.
And like you mentioned, I mean, it's up in June 25th of this year. It's the moratorium has to be reenacted. So if we came back on June 26th and it wasn't enacted, then we could approve the plan?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. All right, I think I can modify the yield plan to show the 17 lots, so that is a very important thing to get out there. I will see if I can do that and resubmit that yield plan to show that we can do the 17 lots. And if not, I'd probably keep the same roadway length and wait till the moratorium's reduced and come back. I mean, that's a big financial, permitting a small subdivision like this, every lot matters to the
I
developer.
agree. Yeah, I agree.
You know, a loss of one lot could mean the whole project, so, I would
I
mean-
wish I had a better answer for you, sir,
Yeah,
but
okay.
my hands are tied, and that's my opinion.
Okay,
And I think opinion shared with a lot of the board here, but,
it is, okay,
um,
okay.
but,
These people are all in for this.
they might be, but well, I guess at this point, maybe I open it up to the board. I mean, does anybody have an opinion differing from that, or do you have anything you want
It's
to add
not
to it?
that, I'm just wondering if they have questions.
I understand for the public. I want to make sure we address the big items and then open up to the public, but. Gentlemen, this side.
Go ahead, Tony.
Nothing regarding that. I
Okay,
I
yeah, other
agree we
questions?
should.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, and I think we discussed the same topic the last time we
Yeah,
were
we
here,
did,
and we
yeah,
voiced the
yeah.
same opinion at
Okay.
that time, but yeah, I agree that the yield plan would need to be amended to
Okay, okay.
show the 250.
Right, so I wanna open up any questions for the rest of the members of the board before we open to the public input. Mr. Reardon.
Mr. Reardon's here too.
Hey, how you doing? Good evening. You're on mute.
Doing well.
Okay. Do you have any other questions or comments or anything you need to, I mean, are you here to present on this, or did you present at the first? I'm sorry, I wasn't,
It's the peer review.
Oh, he hasn't presented yet.
hasn't presented. All right, did you want to present on this topic, or are you here for the Bell Farms?
No.
I was here primarily for this topic, and
All right.
I'm happy to present, but it would be based on our review from February 9th, and I know that there are new materials that have been received since then, so I don't know how you want me to handle that.
Yeah, the items, were clarifying items for individual pieces that I can present after you're done. But
Sure.
before that, did you want anything else you want to bring?
No, there was one other,
Switching to,
big picture question that should be answered, so we can move forward. Was the calculation of the open space calculation
Right,
that you
right, yep.
presented? So I believe the peer reviewer had a similar opinion as to us. We're providing additional open space area, but it didn't, depending on how you interpret the percentages. Their review basically parroted what we did and agreed with what we did, I believe. So there was questions from the board, though, previously, that because were providing additional open space, whether the percentage of that provided open space had to be upland or,
okay,
makes sense.
all right.
Would either you or the reviewer explain that, as far as what the interpretation was that made that possible?
Sure, so.
Not that I was against the additional open space,
Yeah.
it's just that it didn't meet the bylaw definition of how you do the calculation, in my original opinion. So
Right.
so if you had a different way of doing it that explains that, I'd like to hear
Yeah.
it.
Is that part of your presentation, Jim? Maybe we should just let you do your presentation, and if you want to spend a little extra time on that particular topic, we can have a discussion on it.
Yeah.
Sure, that calculation isn't in the presentation per se, but it is in the peer review, and I can pull that up, when the time comes, if that makes sense.
Okay, all right, so why don't we go ahead and let you do your presentation, and then we can circle back on that particular topic.
Certainly. Okay, so for me to be able to do that, I need to have permission to share. There we go.
There you go.
Just want to make sure before I start that folks can see that.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So, obviously this presentation regarding our review at 0 William Street, Almeda Ridge. This is the approximate location of the proposed 17-lot subdivision that was mentioned by Mr. Rigo earlier. The zone is residential and agricultural district, and the total area is a little bit over 80 acres, 80.434 acres. Here's a layout as it was provided to us. Again, 17 lot conservation division, single family lots. There's dead end street here you can see that runs along the length of the proposed subdivision at 1,685 feet. Utilities include private wells for each lot and a shared septic system. Our review included bylaw compliance, conservation subdivision, rules, special permit, the definitive subdivisions rules, and then utility, stormwater management, and project constructability. Materials received included these 7 items. And this was, of course, as of the date of our review, which was February 9th. So I realized that there were new materials that had been presented or, been submitted since then. But these materials included the application for the special permit, the definitive subdivision plan, plan sheet that was entitled proposed yield plan, so the proposed yield plan, the definitive subdivision plan set, which was 23 pages, or sheets rather, a document entitled the stormwater management report.
You don't take- Sorry, continue.
Sure. A limited traffic impact assessment, and then septic system narrative. So we noted that there were approximately 10 waivers, and I won't go through and read all of these, but generally there were, there was a series of waiver requests that were implicated in the application materials, and as we got into this, our basic findings, and this gets to the waiver requests too, noted that there was no information regarding parking spaces for the individual homes. Zoning compliance concerned that lot 13 was a little bit below the 35,000 square foot requirement. It was 23,565 square feet. Lot frontage deficiency, there was one at lot 9, so it was just shy of 90 feet, and obviously didn't meet the 175 foot minimum that we've been talking about. Wetland buffer encroachment, lot 11 extends into the 100-foot wetland buffer near the proposed house. And then some additional informational requests. So this includes addressing plan edits identified in the peer review memorandum, address lot area and frontage setbacks, like the one that we mentioned earlier, provide information related to the parking, clarify the intended use of the open space, confirm the street center line radius, address technical stormwater design comments identified in the letter. There were several of those. They were, not major items, but they needed to be addressed. Additional test pits, means of fire protection satisfactory to the fire chief, justification for the waiver of the length required for the dead-end street, and then in general for each of the other 10 waivers, show street lights, fiscal impact analysis that needs to get included, estimate of construction costs, and then for planning board's consideration, there's several recommended conditions of approval, and those are contained in that peer review memorandum. So we understand that the applicant has provided additional information, and we haven't conducted a thorough review of that, of course. That information was received on the 26th, but we did take a quick look at it, and it appears to substantially address these comments. And that is the completion of the presentation. If you'd like, I can pull up that our peer review memo, and we can go over the open space calculation. It's on one of the earlier pages in that memorandum. I think like maybe page 3 or something.
Okay. Yes, please.
So this is it. Go down through here. I'd actually just be able to search for it. You can see my search bar. Al just keeps going up. We're almost right there, actually. original, so this discusses it. So, key regulatory requirement states that at least 20% of the project development area must be designated as open space, and 75% of the open space must consist of the upland areas rather than the wetland or other constrained land. In our opinion, the project not only met that, but exceeded these requirements. Subdivision designates 1,767,679 square feet of open space, which is significantly greater than what we believe the requirement was, 341,206 square feet of, which would be 20% of the PDA. And then additionally, 283,935 square feet of open space consists of the upland areas surpassing what we believe the requirement is, 255,905 square feet, which gets to the 75% of the open space. And so then this table, shows that data.
Is that, Jeff, what you have there, Tim?
Well, I'm just
Yeah.
looking at the, I'm actually looking at the yield plans, I'll try the same information on all of them, regarding the open space that's been designated. So, I have, map 21, lot 20 of 80.3 acres, and then lot 2, doesn't have the acreage here, but, upland 279,000 square feet, wetlands 1.5 million square feet, so this must be for the whole thing. So, I'm not sure how you get to, given these numbers, the percentage that is calculated for uplands. Is that reflected in this where I can see that those upland numbers? I'm just not seeing it on the material that was presented.
If I may, we both of us were calculating based on the required percentage of open space required, and then we took 25% of the open space required, and we're providing that many uplands. We are providing significantly more wetlands,
Yes,
but that's just providing extra open space.
which I have no objection to, other than, are we adhering to, do you have the bylaw in front of you, Jeff?
The other
That's
option
what it
would be to connect it to a lot and just give them, 1 million square feet of what could be open space to a single landowner, or keep it as a isolated parcel that no one has access to. So we could do that.
Open space requirements over here. Where's the number? I was thinking, Jim, where's that table in your document?
Let's see, so it would be page 8.
So just to restate it, minimum of 20% of the parcel should be open space, which you're far exceeding. Of that open space, not more than 25% of it shall be wetlands, which means 75% of what you're providing for open space is uplands. That's just what I was not seeing, 75% margin of uplands.
It's not 75% of the open space. It's 75% of the required.
75% open space upland.
not more than 25% of such open space shall be wetlands.
So the required is 255, I'm providing 283,000. And 20% open space left, 341 required, providing 1.8 million.
Okay. That's what I wanted to see. I just wanted to see the numbers that show it was 75% uplands, which it's 255 out of 340. Well, this is what I was confused about. The required space is 255 out of 341. The provided is 283 out of 1.76 million. So that's where the 75% kind of fails.
So if I may, my understanding was that the 283, that 75% would be 75% of the requirement, which was 341.
Okay, I don't really see it spelled out in such detail in the bylaws. I don't know if I'm reading too much into it. Maybe other people on the board have a different opinion about how you calculate these numbers.
I agree with these numbers.
You agree with that interpretation?
I do, yeah. Because it's not more than 25% of that number, which means 75% is up, and it's 75% of that number. So it's the inverse of that number.
That I agree with. I was taking it as not 70% of the required, but 70% of the provided.
Mhm.
It's not 75% of the provided. It is 70% of the required. And I was reading not more than 20 of such open space, meaning what is being provided
No, it's
shall be wetlands.
required.
Okay, so,
The basis of, you start up with the baseline of required, and then you calculate it based on the required. They're providing more than the required, so
Okay.
you don't penalize them because they're providing more. That's where I think you got stuck, because you were basing it on what's provided.
Provided,
and
correct, yeah.
Not what's required.
right, because I was,
And the percentage is what's unrequired, not what's provided. He's providing more than required.
understood.
Yeah,
So I was going such open space, meaning, that means what is being provided when you say such open space.
got it,
But,
okay.
so maybe this is
Of the provided.
verbiage that could be clarified for
Of the
future
required.
use, but for now, it's an interpretation, so
Yeah,
I don't know if other people tend to agree with you and the peer reviewer. You're good, okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure that because we don't have latitude there, there's no
No,
waiver,
understood.
it's just, so I
Yeah,
just want to make sure we were doing it accurately.
That's
so-
fair.
You can make it work however the board wants to
Yeah.
incorporate it.
I didn't like the idea of carving things out. Like
Yeah,
you're
no, it'd be
proposing. I'm like,
crazy,
that would make a mess.
It would be a mess, but
Yeah, it would be a mess, unnecessary.
do it if we have to, I
Yeah,
guess.
I'd rather not, but I'm glad we worked through the numbers,
Okay.
real time. Nothing like doing math on your feet, or on your seat, so to speak. Jim, anything else, or is that was your presentation, okay. All right, so,
That's all we had.
all right, great, so I wanna just,
And just for clarification.
Sure.
Are you anticipating with the additional material that has been more recently provided, another more thorough round? Or when you said you had done a quick review, was that as far as you intend to take it?
I would recommend that we do a more thorough review. I would like our technical staff to take a closer look at it for you, but that, of course, is up to you folks.
okay, so, I guess what I wanna do is just hit on the other additional items you were talking about, Jim. So, there was a question during the last public hearing about whether or not the 8-inch CPVC called out was adequate for drinking water, and we did hear back from the, let me find the email now. We did hear back from our Board of Health on that topic specifically. She answered the question, but not really. So,
That seems to be a theme here.
I asked the question, is 8-inch CPVC adequate for drinking water when that becomes available? And the answer was that the minimum requirement is 8 inches.
That what?
The minimum requirement was 8 inches.
Yes.
That really wasn't what I asked. I asked,
Right.
is 8-inch CPVC adequate
For those,
for drinking water?
right.
So that's kind of a question mark in my head, still.
Did you cover that, was that from the health department about the type?
Say that again?
Class 52.
Yeah, class 50 ductile iron pipe material is the only main material accepted for installed.
Oh, there was additional response. Oh, thank you.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't see that in the packet. Well, maybe I went by it.
I think-
Okay, 8 inches adding, okay, so class 52 ductile iron pipe material is the only material accepted to be installed within the district. This pertains to all mains 4-inch and larger. Sand must be used to provide at least 1 foot of cover on the top and at least 6 inches below the pipe. So your proposal for 8 inches of CPVC is not adequate.
They want ductile iron, sure.
Yeah,
No
ductile
problem.
iron pipe
Modified.
material. So that is, that's funny. Okay, thank you. So that's that. The other question that we had was of streetlights. So you don't currently show any of those on your drawing. So there was a back and forth, and I think there was some confusion between, was it Dan and the Electric Light District, or somebody from, yep, and it looked like the Electric Light District finally came back and said that, I should stick to the packet so I don't get myself in trouble here. Emails real time. I will get to the public inputs, I promise.
Can I just add while you're looking something?
Please.
So we didn't put streetlights on the original plans that were submitted. We did put lanterns on
On the properties, right?
on the properties, and that's something that we've done in other communities, and not sure if it's acceptable to the board or not, but as opposed to big, larger street lanterns with higher pole heights, we're proposing 12-foot lanterns on each of the individual properties
Where would those be located?
on the property, off the layout, and on the property owner's property on either side of the driveway, and it'd be connected into their electric, so that it runs off their thing, and it'd be on a photovoltaic cell, so it turns on when it gets dark out.
Okay,
That just provides for a little less intense lighting that's spread out through the entire subdivision. And you just put in a covenant that, when they build the house before release, they have to have that lantern installed. Again, that's up to the planning board. It's a thought, but if you want larger lights, we could put them at,
well, there's, the only time the Electric Light District gets involved is when the light is on, town land.
yeah,
And
correct.
connected to municipal power.
Sure.
So if the intent is to put lanterns on either side of the private properties and being on their own power, then the Electric Light District does not get involved.
Right, and that would be that's my recommendation and how,
So,
or that's my.
and you said it's on the drawing, or it's?
It's on, there's a landscape and lighting drawing, and each of the lanterns is shown on each side of the driveway, yes.
Okay. So that is the gist of what the email from the Electric Light District says.
The
Yes.
HOA would be responsible for those, or each individual person?
Each individual person is responsible to pay the bills and also to install them during.
So that is, okay, then we also had, so that's the lighting. And then we also had an email from the Board of Health on the, let's see here. On the shared septic system, because I wanted to make sure that they specifically stated, their opinion on that particular design, so I wanted to read that out here. Is that this one? Yes, it is. All right, so this is from, this is still dated March 31st, so this is from the Board of Health, Dayton Board of Health, and they reviewed the proposed subdivision, Alameda Ridge, so William Street, Dayton, by the Board of Health. The review has been completed by the Board of Health. The subdivision will be serviced by shared systems. Systems will be conventional and are shown by Presby Enbro septic pipe for the SAS, which is approved for general use by Mass DEP, and septic system design plans and permit will need to be filed with the Board of Health for review and approval. Soils from prior holes show a consistent sandy loam with percolation rates of less than 15 minutes per inch, which is suitable for on-site septic systems. And additionally, the plans submitted show 2 shared systems, each with a design flow of 7,480 gallons per day, which accommodates 17 4-bedroom dwellings per system. So no further comments at this time. That's signed by by Matthew Tanis with the Board of Health, the health agent. So that was the one thing we wanted to make sure we heard back from them on, and so that was adequate. And I think that might have been the last additional correspondence. This is Easter Day, is that? Might have been the additional items, Jim, that you may have missed.
So you did the light,
All of them. Okay, before we open it to the public, any other comments or concerns or questions from members of the board? We can circle back, of course.
I guess on the lights, so if the homeowner decides they wanna shut that light off at the electrical panel, they would have the option to do that, correct?
It would be in the covenants of the subdivision that they'd have to maintain that. And it'd be more lighting, consistent lighting than in a typical subdivision. I mean, you don't wanna light it up like a commercial site, you know?
I understand that aspect of it. I guess my question is, does it take it out of the town's hands to enforce that there's lighting once it's on the homeowner's property?
Yeah,
We're relying on the HOA to manage that. So if a light needs to be replaced or so on and so forth, it could
yeah,
become
it's.
an issue long-term.
Right, I mean, it's people living in that subdivision that are gonna deal with it, the lighting levels and, I guess one neighbor could want it brighter than the other neighbor, but, I personally lived and built in a subdivision in Pembroke that had that type and designed several that's been implemented, and I haven't seen any problems with it, but I suppose there always could be.
I couldn't find any specific requirements for lighting in the subdivision.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, some subdivisions are proposed without lights. I just did one in Swansea and Dayton. There's 2 lights there's 2 intersections in the road, and there's lighting provided there, but there's no other lighting proposed. Here you'd have 17 lights, you know?
Anything, Woody? I'm good. Good for now?
I had one other question, sorry. And it may have come in the latest round of correspondence, but it was raised. The bylaws give options, and it's to the developer to have the options of what the intended use of be for the open space. Would it be fall to the HOA? Is it a gift to the town? Is it a gift to some third-party nonprofit that manages it? Do you have, at this point,
I
intended
did
use?
present as part of the development impact statement, there was a statement on the open space, and currently proposing to give it to the owners of the subdivision, so it
To
would
the
be a.
HOA, okay.
yeah. And it backs up to Hunter's Hill and other, basically vacant part, there's a lot of open space out there that's kind of accumulated, hundreds of acres.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, hearing nothing else, I'd like to open it up to the public for any comments. Ask if you do step to the podium, please state your name and address, and address all questions to the board, and if necessary, we can include the applicant. So is there anybody here who would like to speak on this particular topic from the public? Anybody else join on camera? I don't think it's just Jim, right? I don't mean just Jim, I mean it's Jim.
yeah, it's Jim.
No aspersions taken.
All right, well, that was easy. I think at this time, I don't think we're ready to vote on this. I don't know what the board feels on this. I think we need to, there's a number of questions and things we still need to resolve on this particular project. And before before we can proceed to a final decision. So, I'd like to take a motion to continue this public hearing.
Do we know when the peer review would have an opportunity to finish their final?
Well, I guess that'd be a question for Jim. Is there any, do you have an estimate on any additional analysis or look into the application here? On how long it would take?
Certainly. So, we would provide a proposal. I should be able to get that to you by the end of the week, I think. It's fairly straightforward proposal to write. Once that proposal is approved, probably 2 weeks after that.
So is it the intent to come back with an updated deal plan, or are you leaving it as
Yes,
is for now?
absolutely. Yeah, I would
Do we
make
want-
every attempt to.
I think we'd like to wait on what Jim is doing.
Well, if Jim could provide the proposal, I don't think his interpretation of the yield plan will add too much time, or
No,
he'll have
okay.
to see that to do it.
That's a good point. Okay.
So we'll make sure we get that by the end of the week.
Okay.
And then as soon as we can get everything, a clean letter from Weston and Sampson, that would be great.
Okay.
And the only other thing that I took away from is we need to change the CPVC to cast iron.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to, yes, ma'am. Yes, you may.
Nancy Goulart, Chairman, Stormwater Committee. The work that Weston and Sampson is doing, will this include all the work the stormwater is going to need when we get involved? Because at this point, we haven't been involved because we're waiting for planning and Concom. The stormwater application came in with the check, but we're holding it. I don't want to deposit it until we know everything's going to move forward.
So, we were under what we were hoping what would happen for the process moving forward was when we all received the report from Weston and Sampson, that all the boards would then review the report and to be able to provide comments so that we can all collectively provide comment to the applicant. I don't know why the applicant is submitting a separate application to the Stormwater Committee for this. I thought that was because the stormwater permit is being issued by the Conservation Commission, so I don't know why there's a separate application being filed.
The stormwater permit that I saw, not the permit, the stormwater application that I saw is at the office. And she had gotten in touch with Mr. Ferry, and he said, you need to get in touch with Nancy. And so I did stop by, and she gave me a copy of the permit application. It has the 17 homes.
Yep.
If the permits are $200 apiece, plus there's $250 for something, but it's all through the Board of Health. So they handle the stormwater permits per se, but what you described as far as when the reports come in and we all get a chance to sit down, that's fine. I'm only asking at this point is, to Jim through the chair, is everything I'm gonna need for stormwater going to be part of the work Weston and Sampson is doing?
It has done.
Oh, okay.
Has done.
As I say, I got the call yesterday.
When was the report issued? What's the date on the report?
February 9th?
February 9th. As of February 9th, the report has been available.
And so what he's going to do is just now look at the last data that's come in?
That does not involve anything stormwater related. I don't believe.
There were some minor stormwater.
There were.
Minor.
Minor, okay.
So in the original report, does it address stormwater?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Very extensively.
My main concern, because I did see the plot plan and there's a lot of wetlands there.
Yep.
And, okay, that's fine. Can I get a copy of that report? That was,
I'm sure it was already sent to, it was already sent. I have a copy.
I can send you another one.
Send you another
I'll
copy.
is this
email.
part of what went to the Board of Health?
Yep.
Because she didn't know what to do with it. And then, since I haven't been involved in this, and that's why I'm here tonight, I didn't want to take anything out of there when I didn't know who'd already seen it. So I can get the copy from her now.
What's that?
I'll get the copy from the
her.
Board of Health,
Okay,
okay, because I told her to save it until I knew what was happening with stormwater. Okay. About this thick?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. Thank you. I'm unclear whether I'm supposed to submit now stormwater to the Board of Health.
We're unclear as well, because that wasn't the process we were expecting.
Oh, okay.
So this.
We'd like not to. I mean, if it's
So,
gonna be approved.
do you want to speak on this, or do you want to?
I mean, it can be figured out after this meeting. I don't wanna
Yeah,
hold it
so,
up, but I just.
yeah, so we are, reviewing situation and determining what the right way to do this, because we recently, when did we start the new process? Was it in December? End of last year?
Yeah, give or take.
So we started, we're trying to streamline this process.
Sure.
This might not look like a streamlined process, but I can promise you it is.
Okay.
This is speed right here. So, we're trying to streamline the process for applicants such as yourself, developers. So, so far, we thought we were good to go, but I think there's some snags, so I'll leave it there.
Okay, great.
But, we will let you know as soon as we can.
Okay, great. Because we were just trying to consolidate and move it through as quickly as
Yeah,
possible.
we're trying to make it so you're not, having to bounce around 5 different offices,
Thank you.
so.
Thanks very much.
Only bouncing around 4.5 days. All right, so at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to,
Continue.
no, he's for the next application, to continue the public hearing for TNA Realty Trust, 0 William Street, map 21, lot 20, special permit and definitive subdivision application to, you want to give it a month? Is that adequate?
I'd like as short as time as possible, but if we need a month to get the review.
Jim, you call the ball.
So it all has to do with how quickly the proposal, gets approved for us to do the next steps, so
The next meeting's the 16th, I don't think that's enough time.
that would be kind of tight.
So you want to, is it the 7th?
He just said 16th would be.
He said 16th would be tight.
Sorry.
So I think the next meeting is the 7th of May.
That seems reasonable.
Okay, so that was a long motion. Could somebody make that motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made, second. All in favor? Aye. All right, thank you for your time, sir. All right, here we go. Next item on the agenda is public hearing for Bell Farms Estates LLC, 0 Milk Street and 0 Council Oak Way, map 17, lots 109, 135, and 208, special permit and definitive subdivision application. And you have something up there, try to admit somebody to the meeting.
You guys all have copies? Along by something?
Yes.
Okay.
Alright, so, at this time, we can make a motion, somebody make a motion to open, public hearing.
What's that?
I've gotta read, I'm sorry,
Oh, no, I thought you said my name. Sorry.
is the,
For,
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I'm
have
sorry.
flash drive.
down to the next application, stand by, sir. Formalities here first. This is quite the book. Oh, heavens, I should have wrote down the page number, I'm scrolling down. Nothing like a 700-page document for reading it.
it's easier to get.
Chairman, if I might ask a question.
Yes, sir.
Sure, so, we don't have a review for this at this point, we have been approved to do one. We're happy to, I'm happy to stay if you'd like me to, but, if, you don't feel it's necessary at this point, I'm also happy to depart. I just wanted to give you that option.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. I forgot that you haven't had the opportunity to review this yet. If you want to drop off, you can, so I'll leave that up to you.
Okay, thank you. In that case, I'll wish you a very pleasant evening and look forward to next time.
All right, thanks, Jim. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, can somebody make a motion to open the public hearing for Bell Farm Estates?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So I'm looking for page 1 here. So right by it. Okay, there's a butters list. I think 700 pages breaks me. Good, there it is, all right. All right, notice of public hearing, Town of Dayton, in accordance with the provisions of MGL, Mass General Law, Chapter 41, Section 81T, and the Dayton zoning bylaw, Section 4500 Water Resource Protection Overlay District, the Dayton Planning Board will conduct a public hearing on Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025, at 7 p.m. in the Old Town Hall on the petition of Bell Farm Estates, LLC, for the approval of a 26-lot definitive subdivision entitled Bell Farm Estates within a water resource protection overlay district located at 0 Milk Street and 0 Council Oak Way, Dayton, shown as Dayton Assessors Map 17, lots 109, 135, and 208. The proposed 26-lot subdivision is located in a residential agricultural district and water resource protection overlay. Almost done, Joe. Copies of the application and plan may be requested from Carrie, the Town of Dayton Planning Boards, or for the Town of Dayton Planning website. Any person wishing to be heard on the above application should appear at the time and place designated for the public hearing. All righty. Whew, ready.
So am I. All right, for the record, Chris Vandenberg with Civil and Environmental Consultants, representing my client, Carl Rebello. So kind of a little bit of a project background. This plan was before you guys as a preliminary subdivision filing back in January of 2023, but was withdrawn soon thereafter due to the fact that we did receive some comments from the applicable boards. Like I said, it was withdrawn due to the fact the wetland line was going to be expiring, so we decided to get we withdrew our application and got the wetland line reapproved, and that was done through the NRAD process, and that was a lengthy process, of which Conservation ultimately approved it, the resource areas that are shown on this plan now back in September of 2024. That's how we kind of arrived at our layout that we have now. But a little bit of project background, existing conditions here. It's on the north side of Council Oak Way and Massasoit Road. It's east of Milk Street. It is zoned residential and agricultural. It is bordered to the west and south by single-family residential dwellings, bordered to the north and east by undeveloped land owned by the towns of Dayton and Somerset. The project consists of 42.4 acres and it's undeveloped land. Based on this graph, you can see it's the darker green is dense vegetation, the lighter green is the wetland resource areas, and there's kind of gravel paths thrown throughout there. Kids riding their dirt bikes out there and whatnot. Like I said, it consists of 42.4 acres, 38 acres is upland, 4.4 acres wetlands, ponds, and vernal pools. The wetlands were flagged by Asvinus Environmental Services in June of 2023 and approved by Conservation in September of 2024. There's a series of BVWs, 2 vernal pools, isolated in freshwater wetlands, and 1 pond that flows northerly to an intermittent stream. I'll kind of zoom in on that. Intermittent stream that discharges into the BVW on site up here. There are no perennial streams on or adjacent to the site. Based on NRCS, it is mostly hydraulic A soils. This is confirmed with numerous test pits throughout the property. There is loamy sand and sandy loam that was observed, and these test pits were used in the design of the stormwater management system. Topography, it's relatively flat, generally slopes downward from the west and southwest to the east and the northeast. The elevations range from about 58 down to elevation 36 in the central portion of the site. It's not located within the special flood hazard zone, and there's no natural heritage issues on the site, and it's not located within an area of critical environmental concern. It is noted that the site is entirely located within a zone 2, however. So that is the overall existing conditions of the project, for the proposed project. So kind of going back a little bit to the history, the applicant was trying to propose a conservation subdivision prior to this. based on the new wetland line and the resource areas, that was no longer feasible, of which we are now proposing a conventional 26-lot subdivision here. Access is still off of Milk Street, down in this vicinity, and then also off of Council Oak Way, up over there. Those entrance and egress points are the same as preliminary filing, but just the layout has changed substantially. So the proposal is for a 26-lot conventional subdivision, 35,000 square foot minimum lot sizes, 30,000 square feet of contiguous upland, and 175 feet minimum of frontage. There's approximately 3,500 linear feet of roadway with curbing and sidewalks. It will include stormwater management systems, 2 infiltration basins. Utilities will include underground electric, municipal water, and site lighting. Each lot will have individual septic systems, as no municipal sewer is available around the area. Kind of similar to the previous applicant, we understand there is like a moratorium on the water, but we are proposing the 8-inch water main to go through it and eventually tie into all the houses. So for the proposed roadway, there are 2 access points, one, like I said, off Milk Street and off Council Oak Way here.
What's the frontage in your yield plan?
On the yield plan, so there is, so just the conventional plan, they're all 175-foot minimum,
It's 250.
250.
Yes.
So is this going back to the same, what you guys were just talking about?
Conversation we just had, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in that case, because of the moratorium, they need to be 250 feet of frontage and acre minimum? Is that it? From that table, because I remember looking at that table.
Kind of back here. Yeah, from Appendix B,
Yep,
single family dwelling, all districts, because you don't have water,
Yep.
you have a minimum area of 43,560 square feet and 250 feet frontage,
okay.
while the moratorium is in place.
Okay, so therefore, like, until potentially June, when they vote on it again,
Yes.
this becomes all irrelevant.
Yeah, you were here for that conversation, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's not gonna change
Yep.
until the moratorium changes.
Okay, so therefore, like, potentially June is when that gets voted. If they obviously extend another year, then like this
Extend
is,
another year, then it'll be effective for, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
okay, it
we're-
just
we're
gets
kind of
pushed
in a
out, pushed out,
situation
pushed
where-
out.
Yeah, we have a situation where that is the restriction at this time.
Yep.
I just wanna make you aware, cause you've done a lot of work here, and
Yeah.
I don't wanna stop your flow in your presentation, but I just wanna give you
Yeah,
a heads
I
up.
heard that in the previous presentation.
Rubber
I was
meets
like,
the road, that's what's gonna happen.
yep. Yeah, I mean, obviously, in that case, this would completely dramatically change. And what you see before you would dramatically change.
You're proposing a conservation subdivision.
No, a conventional,
Conventional,
yes.
thank you.
Yes, so does that still change things?
No, it does not.
Okay.
Well, that's why I threw out the term yield plan, my apologies.
Yeah, so that's why I was like,
A yield plan is it's something required, you've gotta provide a conventional design,
yes.
correct?
And we started doing that when we did the conservation subdivision a couple of years ago.
That's why I got confused, 'cause I thought
Okay.
that was still happening here. My apologies. No, the requirement is, yes, okay, this is
Okay,
gonna change.
therefore conventional, we are good with the 175-foot minimum. And similar situation, obviously, with the water moratorium.
No, it's still 250.
Okay, just making sure, okay.
No, sorry, it's still 250.
Yes, I mean, we can present it as such, but obviously, even kind of odd kind of a situation to present it when it just can't be acted on, obviously, even a review. But I mean, I'll go through the project as it is, assuming,
Well, you can have a sidebar if you'd like to discuss and how you want to proceed, but
you know,
if that side glance was, we're considering pulling the application, then you could probably save yourself a lot of money with a peer review you're not gonna need if you're gonna hold off for the time being. How do you wish to proceed? Or you can continue your presentation, we'll let you finish, and we can have public input, and there's a lot to be learned on this.
I think we should at least finish the presentation for today.
Okay,
And, I mean, the permit fee, the fees have already been paid and that whole, I'm sure they're not gonna open the plan tomorrow.
right,
But, let's finish the presentation. I have been in contact with the water district just to see where things are at and I know what they're working on.
okay, good.
So even if going through this process, I had to wait a few extra months or 6 months or whatever to possibly have some sort of release of water.
Yeah,
So I have been engaging with them, so
Okay.
I think finishing the presentation would be good, and then
Okay.
maybe give me 48 hours to give you the green light to send it off to
Okay.
Weston.
Sorry, I have to ask you to state your name and address.
Kyle Ravello. My project.
Oh, it's okay, thank you.
Yeah,
And address, you're,
yeah, he's the owner.
he's the owner, you're the owner of the
Yeah,
property?
yes, the project. Yeah, we're represented me in this project.
Okay, and your residence is where?
I live here in Dayton,
Address?
843 Main Street.
Thank you.
That's corner of Main and Milk.
Okay, yeah, she just needs it for the record, that's all. Thank you, appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, then
Yep,
please
thank you.
proceed.
Okay, so kind of where I left off. Noted that, so there's gonna be about 3,500 linear feet of roadway, 24 feet wide in accordance with the subdivision regulations, grass shoulders, 5-foot wide sidewalk on one side, with the roadway sloping between 1% and 2%. The road has been designed in accordance with the subdivision regulations. Regarding wetland impacts, so we did have a conservation hearing, I believe it was 2 weeks ago. They provided some little feedback, and of which they're also pushing it off to Weston Sampson for their peer review. But there is wetlands impacts on the site. Here we're proposing a intermittent, or it's box culvert, 3-sided box culvert crossing the intermittent stream here. There will be no direct impact to the BVW except 290 square feet of shaded BVW. The wetland alteration will be about 1,500, a little over 1,500 feet. There is also noted here a wetland series that we are proposing to fill in and provide wetland replication on site back in this vicinity here. So let's see, and then also grading, roadway grading. Like we said, the roadway grading is going to be pitched from this is the high point at Milk Street. It'll be flowing 1% down to a network of infiltration basins, and stormwater will be captured via these 2 infiltration basins. All the work is outside the 25-foot no disturbed. All the structures are proposed being outside the 50-foot no structure. We will make a note here that we are requesting a waiver from the planning board regulations for the roadway being in fill of excess of 5 feet. This is due to the elevation of the roadway being required for the stormwater management systems as they are designed. Regarding the stormwater management systems, they've been designed in accordance with Mass DEP and the town of Dayton standards. Pre-verse post drainage patterns are matched to the extent practicable. Both infiltration basins are designed to capture and treat runoff from all the proposed pavement and impervious areas, including the roadway, sidewalks, and the roof areas. Stormwater runoff is directed to a network of deep sump hooded catch basins with drain manholes. They are directed into 2 infiltration basins with sediment forebays. The catch basin inlets have been designed for the 25-year storm capacity, and the sediment forebays have been designed in accordance with Mass DEP stormwater requirements. Both the infiltration basins are designed to accommodate up to the 100-year storm. We are providing a minimum of 4-foot groundwater separation to each. And because the site falls entirely within a Zone 2, we are providing the minimum 44% TSS removal prior to discharge to these structures, and providing 85% prior to discharge to their respective design points. And we are providing the 1-inch water quality volume as well. For utilities, the project is proposing an 8-inch ductile iron main located under the shoulder on opposite side of the sidewalk. There will be 7 hydrants present, I believe all in accordance. I believe it might be 500-foot minimum requirement that resulted in 7 hydrants needed. Each of the lots will be serviced, proposing here, with 1-inch service connections to each dwelling. There will be underground electric and proposing street lights as well, similar to those that are found in Council Oak Way. Sewer will be designed, I should say there is no sewer within this area, so each lot will be have its own individual septic systems and designed in accordance with the nitrogen loading limitations as outlined in Title V. So we are also requesting a list of waivers. Some of the more ones that are more applicable to the planning board would be the use of let's see. Not to construct a channel in the basin bottom, since these are infiltration basins with flat bottoms, no outlet. There is no slope to the outlets themselves. We are proposing side slopes of 3-to-1, not 5-to-1. It is standard practice for 3-to-1 side slopes. There's 10-foot maintenance access paths to the outlets for each basin. And I guess in another waiver is reducing the request to reduce the waiver over the pipes from 2 feet instead of 3 feet. And additionally, for the record, we want to state that we are going to be proposing a HDPE pipe instead of what the plans show as RCP. And that's what I have.
What's that last pipe, is for what purpose? Oh, for the.
Yeah,
the basin.
stormwater management.
Basin,
Yeah.
got it, okay.
So yeah, we'll be proposing like HDPE throughout the whole subdivision instead of the RCP that's currently shown.
Got it, okay, so, I guess the one thing I want to highlight is on your waiver request, you heard the previous applicant provided an impact study.
Yep.
And one of your requests was to waive the requirement for an impact study.
Yep.
We feel very strongly that that's an important piece of information that we need to, as new developments are coming to the town of Dayton, so I would plan to include that in
Yeah.
your update.
Turn it over to you guys, and I can put the plan up on the screen as well.
Okay. Does that conclude your presentation?
Yes, it does.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so, at this time, you guys have seen the application, seen the waiver requests. I don't know that we have to go too much detail quite yet, because if we're gonna proceed with this, obviously there's gonna have to be some changes to your frontage or however you want to do it, but we're just gonna go forward like what we have right here in front of us, to make good use of our time. So, anybody have any questions or concerns, any of the members of the board?
That's
Yeah.
a concern for me,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's kind of where we're at right now.
No, the only thing is, we had received a letter from someone on the Conservation Commission, Paul Reynolds, but maybe you want to read it in as part of the public input
I
section?
can, yeah. Well, he's not public, but he's the conservation.
Okay.
So I can read his.
It was about the road elevation waiver
Right,
specifically.
yeah, he had a very specific concern from the Conservation Commission about the 5-foot road
Is that from
elevation.
Paul Reynolds?
Paul
Yep,
Reynolds,
yeah, I
exactly.
saw that email.
Yep, yeah, you did see the email, that's right. You're on that. Okay, so, anything else down the end of the table there? What are your questions? All right, so I'm gonna read this in the record, this came from, Mr. Reynolds, with the Conservation Commission. Let me just go back to his original one. Go to the part of his very lengthy response. Okay. Okay, so this is Paul Reynolds on March 31st, sending to Carrie, the planning board office. Though it is not depicted on the map, the engineer did acknowledge the existence of, he's talking about a stream. Go forward a little bit. The engineer also mentioned, here we go, this is a statement, that the applicant would be seeking a waiver from the planning board to have the road higher than 5 feet above grade. Additionally, I raised concerns about the potential for stormwater runoff impacting the wetlands partially encircled between the two cul-de-sacs. The engineer informed me that based on the layout of the site, stormwater from the development would flow toward the top of the project away from the partially encircled wetlands, because you said it was tending towards the west, towards Milk, right? That was the elevation?
Yeah, I'll be going from Milk Street down into the site.
Milk Street down to the site, got it. Okay.
I think you can really see that on the our profile sheets as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to read you his entire email here.
It's this paragraph, I think is, right, this is what you just read, so.
Oh, the continuation, second paragraph. I have many concerns regarding the project given the large distribution of wetlands throughout the property, as well as its proximity to a public drinking water supply. The flow of stormwater from development flowing to the top area on the map is high among my concerns as this flow moves in the direction of a public drinking water supply. Moreover, it's possible that a portion of the stormwater runoff could be destined to end up in the stream, which is running parallel to the road, which would cause the stream to swell and adversely impact abutting properties. It's possible that a waiver to allow the street to be above grade could compound this problem. I think that's the gist of, yeah, exactly, yeah. So he's got concerns specifically with that, to have that road higher than the 5 feet above grade because of where the water could wind up on the abutting properties and on the drinking source. So that's from Mr. Reynolds. So if no other comments from the board, I'd like to open up the public hearing to public input. So if anybody's here specifically to talk on this subject, you can please come to the podium, state your name and address, and any questions or concerns, address them to the planning board if you could. All right, thank you. Anybody else on camera? I don't think there's anybody else behind that. Can you see the Zoom? No,
Nope.
nobody else is there, just us. All right, so there was another letter here from Mr. Ferry, Tom Ferry, the highway superintendent and the tree warden, in reference to the waivers at Bell Farm Estates LLC. I suggest that the waiver for the 2 rear major corner mark, I suggest that the waiver for the 2 rear major corner markers of each lot not be waived. Historically, after a development is established within a wooded area, that within 2 years, there are issues that need to be resolved by the town, such as trees falling onto properties, yard waste being disposed of onto rear abutter's property, for example, but not limited to. Yes, these issues are really a civil matter. However, the town is always a go-to to resolve these issues that could be avoided with good, clear boundaries. So that's your to your waiver request for the 2 rear major corner markers. So we're going to take that as a recommendation when we go forward with your application. Thank you. Did we catch everything? So there is a request for peer review on this. It sounded to me like you want to take a pause and consider. Are we at the point of no return with that, Mrs. Easterday?
I can reach out to him first thing and see where he
You
is.
can check to see, depending on how you want to handle it moving forward, if you want to continue with this application. And then the next step would be the peer engineer would review the application as submitted. As you heard from the previous applicant,
Yeah, it's most likely I'm gonna push it forward, but if you need me 48 hours, that's fine.
okay, yeah, so if you could check with Jim in the morning first thing, and then tell him to give us a 48-hour pause on that,
Okay.
which will mean today's Wednesday, which means we probably kick it back off on Monday. So that's okay. All right. Any other inputs on this project before we continue the public hearing to a future time? Okay, hearing none. We can, somebody make a motion to continue the public hearing for Bell Farms Estates. Yep, let's pick a date on the calendar here that makes sense. So figuring Jim won't hear back from us until Monday. Do we think the 7th is too early? Do we want to push it to the second meeting in May?
If you schedule for the 7th, if he's not ready,
We can always continue it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to continue the public hearing to May 7th.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
May 7th, now we can on the 21st. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming out. All right, next item on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes for March 19, 2025. Can somebody please make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made. Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Mrs. Easterday, is there any other correspondence? Thank you, gentlemen.
Nope.
All right. Any additional public input?
I have something.
Yes, sir.
So based upon conversations this evening, I would recommend that we amend the appendix to clarify some of the very questions that have come up around water period versus when we really mean town water, And, you know, just something, if we have time to take on, to include in the next town meeting, a revision to the appendix language, so that these
The-
questions around water and
He meant-
frontage and
he
so
meant-
forth
He
are
means Appendix B.
appendix B.
When we say things like lots without water, it
Yeah.
means lots without water connection.
Town water connection, yes, specifically town
Because-
water connection.
That unnecessarily, that gives the implication that it's open to interpretation, but
Right.
it seems pretty obvious to me, but why not just add an extra word?
So lots without connected
water.
town water.
Town water connection. Should we say sewer connection, or should we, why not? Is there a sewer somewhere? Then we don't need the frontage.
Very small amount of sewer.
Still, just say the word, sewer
Yeah.
connection, yeah.
I guess lots without water or sewer, lots without town water or sewer connection.
Yep.
So it's like saving words, shall have a minimum area of, frontage of. That's, right. Good idea.
Thank you.
Do you keep like a wish list of things we'd like to change? Like, is there a
Yeah.
running list somewhere? Mm-hmm. Once in a while, like, I wake up at 2 a.m., I'm like, I got a great idea, I'll just email you.
Yep. It goes in my folder.
So don't call you or text you.
You can during business hours.
Well, it's at 2 a.m. All right, so I don't think there's anything else here tonight, gentlemen.
I do, I'm sorry, I do have one thing.
have one, awesome.
I just want to make sure everyone's aware that we have the next ADU workshop, the accessory dwelling unit bylaw amendment workshop scheduled for Tuesday, April 8th at 7 PM at the police station.
The community center, not the interrogation room.
Correct. Correct.
In to the left, not into the right.
Yes.
All right, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Somebody please make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night, Cable. Are we off the air?